Okie dokie. Hello, welcome everyone to welcome to 2022. This is the first DVCA newsletter. I have with me two guests. Again, we have Michelle Jeffrey, our WHS chair, and today we have Gemma Bennett as well, who is Gemma. Please, before I get it wrong.
Executive Officer, seconded in, currently Executive Officer, yes.
Great. And Gemma is also on the Diversity Inclusion Committee, so I will have some points that Gemma will talk to a little bit later. So we'll tick-tock between the three of us and give you some updates and information for the entire portfolio. First of all, we had a fantastic O week last week, welcoming new students to the campus and also, of course, continuing students. Very exciting, of course, welcoming the international students back onto campus. We started off O week with a new innovation, which was a convocational ceremony. That was an official welcome to new students, both in person but also online. Which was presided over by the Vice Chancellor, and the Executive Deans were there as well. And it was kind of an excellent start to the entirety of O Week. The plans are to hopefully in future have this convocational ceremony more regularly at the beginning of the year, and also larger for all staff and students to participate in. So many thanks to the team who ran O Week most successfully. It was very busy, quite hectic at times, but the team did extremely well. So thank you very much to them. The next item I'd like to talk about is the COVID-19 update. A number of things are happening. First of all, some of the restrictions are falling as of Friday. Mask wearing and QR coding in are no longer part of the public health order, and the university is sticking very closely to the public health order. This week on Friday, by Friday the 25th, the Vice Chancellor will send out some more detail on mask wearing, but essentially we're keeping very close to the public health order, except for areas, spaces that are either very high density or have very poor ventilation. The main thing, however, with the COVID-19 is that we maintain a general behavioral observation, and that is, most importantly, if you feel at all sick, any slightest sign of anything respiratory, please stay at home. Whether you test yourself or not, I think it's not the point, but please stay at home. We very, very strongly encourage everyone, or I strongly encourage everyone to, if you can, be vaccinated and get boosted. And for your personal safety, while you're on campus, while you are at work, maintain social distance, hand hygiene. And if you would like to wear a mask, by all means do wear a mask. Depending on the circumstance. That's just very briefly the COVID update. Or we also have the university website with the FAQs, and on the FAQs is also a list of buildings where there have been reported cases. So if you have been on campus and you've tested positive, please let COVID Safe know, and then they will publish the list of buildings where you have been, and so people can then assess their exposure risk there. But that FAQ is being updated very regularly, and the list of buildings with exposure is updated every day, so you can have a look every day. Okay. Next one is, where's PST up to? So we're firmly in the interviewing phase. We've received all the applications of EIOs, and we've also, some positions were advertised externally, and we're just really in the midst of interviewing, and we will I'll check with the PST team about publishing the outcomes of the interviews when they become available. So the publishing who has been the successful candidate for the various roles. Okay. The university continues. So the public health order has removed the imperative to allow flexible working or working from home whenever possible. So that has removed, and the university, however, will continue to support flexible working. And for the details around flexible working, I'll hand over to Michelle.
Okay, thank you, Mariella. One of the important things to remember is that if you're looking at doing flexible working hours, you need to make sure you have a look at the procedures and also and the policy and the form, which I'm just trying to share my screen to, and it was playing up on me. I hope that's working now. So this is the flexible working hours form information page. It's easily found if you Google it, and you can find our flexible work policy there, understanding your rights and so forth, whether you're doing part-time work, whether you're working from home, and you can also look at our flexible work strategy policy. And here's where you would find the application form to look at working from home, and also a working from home health and safety checklist that you should be looking at. And while you're looking at your work home health and safety checklist at home, you should also be doing one at work. And there's some great resources here in our SharePoint page on workplace health and safety. It's a good idea to get somebody else to do it for you while you're at work and have them have a look at this. It'll take all of 10 minutes. There's some tips there on the computer setup, a workstation flow chart that you can apply to see what you're doing. And there's also a checklist and form and a guideline for laptop workstation setup. And I'd really encourage everybody to have a look at that, and just try returning to the office after you've been outside for a while. It's a really good way to make sure that you're safe and as you possibly can be, and you're working to your optimum without harming yourself. Now, it's also important to be able to raise a RAW if you identify any incidences or hazards, or have some sort of accident. Finding where you can lodge a RAW is at the bottom of every university staff page. It's just there, and you just click onto that and you'll get a form come up that you can easily fill in the details. We really need to know what hazards and so forth are existing. We can't fix things that we don't know about. If you're having a problem with somebody with something, it's very likely that someone else is also having similar problems. So we really encourage people to lodge a RAW whenever they can. I also just want to mention again that EAP support is there for all staff and immediate family members. It's something you shouldn't hesitate to take advantage of if you think that's going to be of help to you. You get 6 free counselling sessions. You can talk to your manager about it, and do it in work time if you prefer, or you can do it confidentially and no one at work even has to know about it. So if you Google EAPS, you'll find our work page there with the Employee Assistance Program, and it tells you how you can access it. You can do it by phone, you can go and see them in person, and there's also a really good online resource library that you can also use and take advantage of, and that you might not need to talk to anybody. That might just give you the resources that you need. And finally, I think it's really important as we go back on campus to have a look at your emergency contact poster, which might be located in the kitchen area, and make sure it's up to date. It's really important that you know where your emergency evacuation site is. You need to know who your warden is, where your first aiders are seated, and just remember too that all security are also trained in first aid. So if you call someone in security, they'll be able to assist as well. And again, that sort of information is available on our SharePoint. Just thinking about coming.
I think it's also a tick off on your workplace checklist is also a tick off in terms of looking for that information on posters around offices.
So all the information that you need is in the work health and safety page, which you can, and if you're looking at forms and templates to fill one out, if you don't have one already there, you can find everything you need in that spot. Okay, so that's pretty much the update from the health and safety perspective, and I'll hand back over to Mariella.
Right, I've just downloaded the form, the workplace inspection this morning, and Sue and I will do inspections around here in Chancery next week. I look forward to that. I love workplace inspections. I don't know whether it's because I'm nosy and I want to check out what other people have in their offices or not. So the next point is the 18 Wallis Walk refurbishment. So that's the Muse building, and I'll hand over to Gemma, who seems to have a superior geographic knowledge of the area.
Thanks, Mariella. I don't know about that, but I do have a little bit of knowledge. So for those of you that have been on campus, you might have noticed there's some activity happening on 18 Wallis Walk. So there's refurbishment going on in the higher levels, and there's going to be some relocation of staff from around the university. They'll be coming in. There'll be a few teams moving out. All of the teams that are affected do know, and they have been told, but just so that we're all aware, the move is planned to take place over the weekend of the 12th and 13th of March. So those people that need to pack up their things will need to do it by the Friday. But a small rundown of those new teams that are coming in. We've got HR, IT group marketing, group risk, group finance, group procurement, property, PST, BIR, and then the new shared services as well. So all of that should be done and dusted, and everybody will be all settled in by mid-March.
Perfect. I had a preliminary walkthrough the floor that's currently being refurbished, and it looks fantastic. Like all the concrete's gone, it's either covered or painted. There's ceilings put in, so it's less busy with all the ducting. There's a carpet, which means it's not as noisy. There's lots of wood. So I think it looks pretty fantastic. The windows are bigger. The foils is much more light. So it's something to look forward to. Unfortunately, of course, as the lower floor moves in, there's still going to be the upper floor refurbishment. So disturbance will happen for another little while. Okay, the next point I just wanted to update you is on, we've just completed the ESOS audit, and Paul had, and his team had done a really great job with this external ESOS audit, and there have been many commendations for the work, and a number of recommendations, and now we continue working on improving our processes and procedures based on these recommendations. There has been a very important change is the Macquarie University College. There's a name change from MUIC, from the International College. So now both the English Language Centre and the old Macquarie University International College are now combined into the single term of Macquarie University College. And a word of warning, if you get it wrong, if you still refer to it as MUIC, you have to pay $5 to Pamela Humphries. So she's amassing money at this point. And I'll hand back over to Gemma about International Women's Day 2022.
Thanks. Yeah, this is just a quick plug that International Women's Day is on the 8th of March, and there is going to be an event that is happening on campus or via Zoom, if that's your preference. There was an email that was already sent around, but it will also be in the newsletter. So click on the link and register your interest to attend. Refreshments will be provided. And
a very interesting speaker as well. There has been an update on staffing. Most of you will know that Sean Brawley, our Pro-Vice Chancellor Programs and Pathways, has left the university and is now at Wollongong University, and Associate Professor Taryn Jones from the Faculty of Medicine and Human Sciences is stepping into the role as an interim measure for the next little while. Taryn has thrown herself straight into the subject matter. She's very familiar with the work, having worked with Sean as the chair of ASQC, and so I'm delighted that Taryn is willing to take up this role. And that I think is all the points we wanted to cover. Thank you very much to Michelle and Gemma for joining me here. And hope you have a great start to the new teaching semester. Bye-bye.
Bye.